Makes a big difference. Like we call it preventative rehab, and it's just like doing all those things beforehand, like making sure you're being consistent with the strength training.
Into the second weekly question, and that is, what do you guys do to keep up strength while resting an injury?
So Josh is a pro here because he just did it, and I look up to him. Right, it's been amazing to see. Like we're back at full force, and he's quite a bit stronger than me now again. So I'm like, all right, there's good motivation. Obviously, you've heard about his shoulder, but I haven't been through a ton. But even just we've had a lot of clients come in post injuries, recovering from something. And, even sometimes things will happen throughout the term where we have to navigate, like maybe they'd be at work and something goes wrong. We're like, okay, we got to figure it out. So that's the main message here, is just always figuring it out. And honestly, I know Josh has a lot of tips and I'll let him take it away afterwards. But one of my biggest things is just asking, like, what can I do? So it's so easy to just like take a few months and just be like, all right, I'm not doing anything, and like look for those consistent excuses. And I know so many people get really excited at that, but I look back to some of my more serious injuries where like I fell off my motorcycle many years ago and I had to figure it out. And I was just so worried about like losing everything. But in reality, like when things would happen, I would always, as hard as it was, try to stay positive and think of the things that I could do, whether it's more rehab, like even if your shoulder, on the topic of shoulders, because, Josh went through that and I've been through it. It's just like, I can strengthen my rotator cuff. I can do things that are going to help me. Not right now, I'm not going to be my strongest, but long term, all of these new habits and these things I do will help me out. But even on that note, like when I hurt my shoulder, it was many, many years ago. I remember I was dumbbell bench pressing and I did 3 chest days in a row. One of them was for filming, and then another one was like, I can't miss my routine. I have to do it on Monday. So I did Saturday. Sunday was a film day. I was hitting 225 on the bench, which was huge for me at the time. And then the next day, I was a little bit stubborn. I had 70s. I went up, and then my shoulder kind of popped, and then it fell and like slid and hit the side of my head. My head was fine. But anyways, my shoulder's never been the same since there. But I remember just being like, hey, I'm not going to take the time off. I'm going to train legs. So I just demolished my legs. And I know Josh can relate to that as of recent, but I think the big thing is just like trying to figure out how you can get the best nutrition, the best sleep, the best mobility, and everything. So when you come back and ready, you feel actually refreshed instead of feeling like you're at square one. So that's my personal biggest tip. I know it's hard for a lot of people to do, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and my advice might be a little unconventional, but that's, if you want to be strong through an injury, you need to be strong before. If you're already strong and you've been lifting a long time, like it's common practice. It's what your body's used to. So it was even pretty amazing to see. I mean, I haven't actively tested all my metrics, but through and through, I wouldn't say there really has been much strength loss at all, maybe 5 to 10% at most, which I'm very confident I could regain quite fast. And once your body has a lot of muscle, mature strength, you'll notice that you actually keep it a lot easier. Whereas if you just start lifting for a month, then you stop for a month, like you're not going to keep as much of that, right? You're going to lose some of that benefit. So the more you can just consistently train, be strong, work on composition, the more you're able to really just keep that strength and size in your life, and the more you're able to navigate when these things come up. Because I always like to say, we break, we heal, and when you do break, you got to take it serious to put yourself back together and to regain that strength. And one thing I always challenge myself with when I hurt myself or something happens, I'm like, instead of this being a point in my life where I start to go downhill, or I'm operating at like a threshold of where I was, I use this as an opportunity to say, this is how I get even better. This is a chance where I can gain more strength, I can eat healthier, I can improve my composition. And it's a unique mindset, because I think having that hope and having that higher standard, instead of being like, oh, I just want to be able to lift my arm over my head in the next 6 months, like you're not setting a really low bar. And similar, we said previously, like when you set deadlines, you'll find a way to meet them either fast or slow. So obviously listening, obviously investing into getting like the best help for healing, whether that's physio, whether it's massage, or whatever it is that you need to heal up, like any investment in yourself is always worth it. Trainers, like anything you can do to speed up that process, I find is immensely important. And then not putting limitations in yourself, because I think the worst thing you can do is when you're hurt, stop using that thing for the rest of your life or being scared to use it. And it's just going to make it worse, right? So, and like I even saw a funny meme, and it's like, you're getting old when you have a good shoulder. which I thought was pretty funny because when you were kids, you just had two shoulders, right? So it's funny things like that. But when you just have an attitude like, no matter what, I'm going to find a way to get healthy. I'm just going to strive to continually get better. I'm not going to use this as reasons why I can't do things in my life anymore. Like, I'm not going to jump ever again. I'm not going to hang. No, that's not the case at all. Like, make sure you're doing all these things. You're moving in unique ways, and that's how you'll do that.
Makes a big difference. Like, we call it preventative rehab, and it's just like doing all those things beforehand, like making sure you're being consistent with the strength training. Like, I like Josh's tip there because I didn't even think about that one and how it makes such a big difference. Like, yeah, people will get injured, and it's like those who do and don't have that background of like lifting and doing these things in the gym and all that, it's just going to be so much worse. And it's something a lot of people don't realize, but there's a reason you see so many people being out for so much longer for those who just haven't done the work beforehand. So super underrated tip, and I really, really like that one.